Episode 4. In Chinatown, no one think about forever. And it's your boy Icon with TV review for you. And I am so backed up on these reviews. So in this particular episode, I took a little break. I was out for about 2-3 days, and I'm back now going over this Warrior. And then for you fans out there, I got a day in the life of Superman, the new Superman anime, and I'm gonna do the Batman Doom, I promise. So then we still got the Marvel show, the Secret Invasion. So in Warrior episode 4, in this particular episode, it's the aftermath of when the white man burned down Miss Davenport's, wine vineyard. And I actually, the conversation between Davenport and Atoya, like I mapped this conversation word for word, like everything that she said. She was just like, oh, I can protect you. And she was just like, oh, but you can't. And then she said that, oh, they won't get away with this. And then Toya was like, they already have. And then she ended up taking the girls, the surviving, Chinese women, the ones that didn't die in the fire. She took them back to Chinatown. And then, that's when Miss Davenport, she was just like, oh, don't go. She was like, I can protect these women in Chinatown. You cannot protect them. And then she said, but the women were happy here. And then she was like, happiness means nothing when you dead. And it's unfortunate because they actually were happy there and they had a decent life, outside of Chinatown. So again, the remaining women, the ones who didn't die, and even young Lee, it's either Lee or Lei, the 18-year-old girl, she ended up going back. And now they're back in, they're back in the whorehouse. They're back in Chinatown. And Atoye, she's back in the fold. She's back doing her madam thing. She got the dress on. She's schmoozing with high society. She's talking to the cops. She's talking to Big Bill. And the problem is that Lee, she's upset and it's funny because she never wanted to go to the wine vineyard to begin with, and then she fell in love with the place. So now that she's being forced to leave and she's being forced to go back to Chinatown, she's still triggered by what happened to her sisters, by what happened to the girls. And while they were at the brothel, there was a moment where this one Chinese guy, he was grabbing on one of the girls, and she was like, get off me. And he was like, oh, come on, let's have some fun. And then Lee got mad. She picked up a bottle and she was about to bust, this dude over the head. And then Atoya had to step in, and then she was like, go upstairs, because the girl's triggered. And that's not going to end there. This girl is going to secretly take her revenge out on every single white piece of trash that she finds in that town. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a scene where you're gonna see her secretly putting on the hood, and then she's just gonna randomly just go around and just start murdering people because she got this anger inside and she needs to get it out. So that was it. Atoya, she was talking to Bill again, and Bill was just like, I can't protect you forever because of the new police chief and everything. And then she slipped him some cash, and then she was just like, fuck it. She's like, whatever's meant to be will be. Now Richard, he was I believe that's his name. Is it Richard, the white cop that now works for the Secret Service? So we call him Richard. I think it's Richard. So Richard, he's still investigating the stolen plates, and he went to the brothel and he saw the hopway in the brothel and everything, and that's when he put two and two together, and it dawned on him. He was just like, shit. He said that the hopway most likely has the plates and they have the printing press, and we need to go into hopway territory in order to find him. Now Chow saw him sneaking around the brothel, so Chow knows he's probably gonna do an investigation and assault on the hopway. So Chow warned them before they could do anything. Miss Davenport went to court about the whole thing with her land. She lost the court case, and now they're going to, I guess, take her wine vineyard, and they're going to build the railroad over her house, especially now that it's burnt down, because it's well, bitch, you ain't got no house no more. So she's upset, and she's trying to figure out what she reminds me of Penny, which is funny. She's like the new Penny. And then she was just she told the guy, she was like, oh, you're a piece of shit, and I'm going to get my revenge, whatever. And that dude's not going to survive, because that dude, he was also talking to Leary, and he brought Leary into his circle, because he said, with you, Mr. Leary, he said that, I can get the results that I want to build a better California. And then he took Leary into a room where he had 3 white whores, and he actually had the judge in there too, because he bribed the judge to rule against Miss Davenport as far as the land is concerned. So this is the type of person where he gets what he wants, not by getting his own hands dirty, but he pays people, and he obtains influence to get the results that he wants. And Leary's basically a part of that. Leary's going to be on his payroll now. And I guarantee you, young Lee is probably going to kill this dude before the season's over, mark my words. So now Richard, Bill, the whole police force, everybody, they're going down to Chinatown. They bust in hopway territory, and they're looking for the plates, and they're looking for the printing press. They don't find it, but Richard sees skid marks and a hidden door, so he knows that it was here, but then they snuck it out. Now, the police have all the hopway lined up, including Young Jun in the gang, and the new police chief, who basically is a loose cannon. He picked a fight with Young Jun. Young Jun took the bait. He spit on his shoes, and then the guy basically the cop beat his ass. And then after he beat his ass, he arrested Young Jun for apparently assaulting an officer. So Young Jun goes to prison, and Hassam and the printer's daughter, they escape with the printing press and the plates, and they're actually pushing it through Chinatown in the rain. They come across some cops. Some cops see them. They roll up on them. Hassam beats everyone's ass as he's the protector. He's the protector of Chinatown. Hassam whoops everybody's ass, and then after he whoops the cops' ass, they manage to get the plates out of there. They get the printing press out of there, but Hassam doesn't know that Young Jun is arrested yet, so that's going to be very interesting. And then after they get the plates to safety, and they go, I guess they went back to her house, like to the printer daughter's house. So they hid the printing press at her house. They hid the plates at her house, and then that's when the printer's daughter was just like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, you beat those men up. I had to kill some. She's like, I had to kill somebody. I hit him over the head with a bludger. Well, I don't think she killed him, but she was just like, there's no way we can get away with this. And she's all pumped up on adrenaline. Hassam was telling her to calm down. One thing led to another, and they started having sex. So just like this escalated quickly. They're doing the deed, whatever, while Young Jude is basically being hauled off to prison. Now, Mai Ling's boyfriend, like the dude who's running the Tong, he's training with his boy. And, his friend was just telling him, he was just like, look, he said, I'm afraid for Mai Ling because, she wants to go out into duck territory and she won't accept my help. She won't let me help her. And then the guy was just like, look, Mai Ling has big aspirations, so, you got to trust her to do her own thing. I believe he secretly doesn't want him helping her because he just wants her to fail, because I don't think he wants her in charge of the Long Z. Like, he wants his boy in charge of the Long Z. But then he got his wish because Mai Ling, she was schmoozing with the white folks again. And I guess I was wrong on this because I thought the two of them were like a white swingers couple and they were trying to bring her in on a threesome. It was very weird because she was talking to the husband about business, about expanding her business ventures outside of Chinatown. She even gave him money so he can put business practices into effect in her name. Then, when the wife was in the kitchen, he made a pass at Mai Ling. Mai Ling turned him down respectfully, and then the guy went. But here's the weird part. The wife saw the whole exchange between her husband making a pass and her telling him no. So then later on, the wife called the police on Mai Ling and said that Mai Ling sexually assaulted her husband. And then she said, I spoke to my husband and he told me what you did. So I'm like, so not only did this dude lie, now because I feel like she's lying too, because she watched the whole situation unfold. Like, what was the point of showing her in the background, seeing the two of them together, when she can clearly hear their conversation and see what was going on? Like, she knows her husband is lying. And I feel like she knows her husband's lying. She knows her husband made the pass. But, because, she can't rule in favor of the Chinese, because that's not what they do. She's going to side with, she's basically she's going to listen to her husband's lies, knowing that he's lying, and she's going to put Mai Ling in jail. So now Mai Ling's in prison because she got Mai Ling arrested. And I mark my words, like I said before, now that they've wronged, because this escalated quickly too, when they wronged Mai Ling, now that Mai Ling has been wronged, when Mai Ling gets out of prison, those two are dead. Like, let's just put them on the board, because they ain't gonna make it. They will not make it to the episode that Mai Ling gets out of prison. That white couple will die in that episode. And now we have a very interesting dynamic, because Mai Ling now is in prison, who's the leader of the Long Z, and Young Jun is in prison, who's the leader of the Hopway, which means most likely Hassam and Mai Ling's boyfriend, the two of them are going to be in charge of the Tongs until they get out of prison, which is what Young Jun was afraid of with Hassam taking over. And as far as the Long Z is concerned, Homeboy should be in charge anyway, so they're not even going to be sweating Mai Ling in prison. So it's going to be very interesting when the two of them get out of prison. Are they going to be able to take the seats back, or is if everybody going to respond to them? So this is going to be pretty interesting. The episode ended with Mai Ling being dragged out into the street. That's how it ended, and thank you for tuning in. Regarding Mayor Buckley, him and that woman, they're trying to sabotage his competitor, like the guy that's running against them. They're trying to sabotage him. They put something in the paper about his stepbrother being addicted to drugs, and then the guy came out and was like, well, yeah, he is addicted to drugs, but that's not news. So I still don't know what her angle is, but we'll see what happens. Maybe she's related to Penny. That's my prediction. This woman that is trying to get in with Mayor Buckley, and she's trying to get in his good graces, I promise you that is probably one of Penny's sisters, or she's related to Penny somehow, and she's setting Buckley up to get revenge for Penny, because Penny ain't come back yet. So again, that was it. Thank you for tuning in, and share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram, because Warrior is damn good, and I want to see what's happening now, because there are so many setups that are happening now with certain characters going in certain directions. questions, and we know that it's a powder keg that's ready to explode. I just want to see the explosion and how everybody reacts to it. But share your questions and comments down below. Like, what do you think about episode 4 of Warrior? How soon do you think this white couple has before Myling kills them all? Is Hassam gonna take over the Tong? Does the printer's daughter's father find out what's going on, and does he have a heart attack? Share your questions and we'll continue to talk about it. Hey Red Eyes fam, before we get out of here today, I want to turn it over real quick to my fellow podcast member Gotham Geek Girl. Check her out as always on YouTube and all over social media at Gotham Geek Girl. She has a special announcement for you guys. Check it out. 3G, take it away.
Gotham Geek Girl here, and launching July 10th on Kickstarter comes the epic action-packed mystery comic Terminus Veil. Terminus Veil comes from writer-creator Jack Harrison, Clash Publishing, and follows Guardians International, a private security firm that are thrust into an epic conspiracy involving dangerous robberies, futuristic weaponry, and gut-wrenching betrayal. The series follows a highly trained security firm, Guardians International, as they fight to survive a violent robbery gone wrong, and they're tasked with discovering who is responsible as theft of cutting-edge technology has skyrocketed. Terminus Veil is a high-octane, adrenaline-filled thrill ride filled with compelling characters and an intriguing story that keeps you wanting more. Issue 1 starts off right in the action, with the team caught in the crosshairs of a major robbery. Think Jason Statham in Wrath of Man, unleashing precision skills during a heist. We get loads of high-tech weaponry, ass-kicking, and explosive action. We get to know the characters a bit more during the second and third issues, and even see some training transpiring. I really enjoyed getting to know the individual personalities and the talents of the team members. The character design is very impressive, and they're very different and diverse characters, not just in terms of ethnicity, but different personalities and skill sets. By issue 3, I'm completely invested in the characters. We see varying skill sets, such as skilled in hand-to-hand combat, master snipers, computer geniuses, even surveillance and intelligence specialists, even a martial artist and a swordsman. There's funny hookups, there's some conspiracies, there's a lot of backstabbing, and a look at really cool futuristic weaponry. Alongside the action-driven storyline, there's amazing high-quality sequential artwork containing intense action scenes and vivid, beautiful use of colors. Find out which of the Guardians will rise to become heroes and who will backstab their peers for material gains in the action mystery comic Terminus Veil. Make sure to check out the Kickstarter for the trade paperback, which will include issues 1 through 4 launching today.
So that was it, guys. So look out on my channel because, like I said, Batman Doom is coming probably after this video. And then I got the first 2 episodes of My Time or My Day in the Life of Superman or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. And then we got Marvel's Secret Invasion episode 4 or 5 coming up because Marvel's Secret Invasion is almost done. And keep a lookout for my Street Fighter 6 live streams. So until next time, guys, for some more Warrior, remember, stay out of Chinatown because there is no tomorrow. And we're out this. Biatch.